My name is Alexander Richter, and I'm an explorer. My travel started as a form of escapism, but I soon realized that only by letting go of everything from home can you truly experience another place. Welcome to a solo traveler's guide to the world. This is Alexander Richterman for a solo traveler's guide to the world. We're spending a few days on Blackbeard's liveaboard sailing across the Bahamas. Welcome to a solo traveler's guide to Scuba Diving the Bahamas. For this voyage, the Morning Star will be home while we sail and scuba dive our way across the Bahamas. She's a tight fit for 20 passengers and 5 crew, but a fine liveaboard nonetheless. My fellow divers included couples, families, but also a good number of solo travelers.
My name is Joyce Michon and I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
My name is Josh Pollack. I live in Columbus, Ohio.
Benjamin O'Neill, and I'm from Savannah, Georgia.
Okay, I'm Martin Gibson, and I'm from Northampton in England.
My name's Eric Gilliard, and I'm from Denver, Colorado.
We came from different parts of the world, but traveling and diving brought us all together.
I'm here to dive. It's my first time doing a liveaboard, and so I really wanted to have the experience and get a lot of diving in. So that's why I picked this trip.
Well, I love scuba diving, and I'm recently divorced, and my wife has my kids throughout the Christmas week, and so it got too sad and depressing to sit around in my apartment without having them around, and so a couple of years ago I started going off on scuba diving trips during this week, and it's been one of the best decisions I've ever made, so I keep doing it.
Well, it's different. There's a lot of things you have to take care of, and it's like just about anything. It's a different sight every time you see it, and you can do it anywhere, but you don't have to do it all the time.
I came to dive as much as I can, eat, dive, sleep, food, meet some great people, all around the world, swap travel stories, and find my next dive destination.
I wanted to dive my whole life, and about 3 years ago, my mom actually kind of surprised me for Christmas and got me an open water certification. And my first dive was just like, I was just blown away. Like, I went into it with really high expectations. Like, I knew it was going to be cool, and I was still floored by it. Like, it was just awesome. I'll never forget that experience. And so I just, just like seeing the underwater environment, and it's just like going to another world, so it's cool.
The different travelers on the boat all had different reasons why they scuba dive.
Anytime I'm under the water, I just feel incredible. It's really relaxing, it's really peaceful, and the things you see are just otherworldly and beautiful.
Well, I love the places that you go in order to do it. I love the fact that it's one of the few activities you can do where you encounter wildlife in its natural habitat. So it's sort of like a safari, and in some ways even less artificial. I really enjoy the people that I meet doing it. I like being out on the sea, out on the ocean, in boats, so there's very little about it that doesn't appeal to me.
It's just the tranquility of it, just floating. You can have a lot of worries and stress from working, and as soon as you get underwater, you forget that, and it's quite serene, just floating, watching the fish, and it's an adventure. Looking under the coral heads, looking in the soft corals, because you never know what you're going to see. So it's discovering the unknown.
You get to see, stuff you would never see. I mean, it's just cool seeing all these fish kind of in their natural habitat, doing their thing.
Every few days, there's an option to go on a night dive. For those of us that didn't mind putting on our wetsuits, again, for the 3rd, 4th, or even 5th time. Different divers focus on different things when they're in the water.
When you first get in the water, it's definitely an eerie feeling. And then as you get more comfortable and realize that the water and the environment are benign, it becomes very exciting and interesting. One of the things I find really fascinating about about diving and about the undersea world is its kind of fractal nature, meaning that you see patterns that are large scale, and then as you look at the next scale down, you see patterns that are similar, and so forth and so forth. So you can concentrate on a square foot of reef and see a ton of life and a ton of activity that can be very exciting, or you can pull back and look out across hundreds of feet if the visibility allow you, and also see kind of similar related patterns. So I find that very kind of fascinating and very reassuring in a sense.
It's just the feeling of the negative buoyancy through diving. You know, it's just floating. You know, it's not like any other sort of sporting activity where you're relying on a cardiovascular fitness to achieve something. You know, scuba diving appeals to a whole broad range of people, and you can just float, relax. If you do a drift dive, just float with a current and watch the show that's happening. You know, and you never know where it may be. It may be behind you, you know, with your buddy. You know, so you know, it's exciting, and I just find it relaxing.
So the degree of focus necessary to be a successful and safe scuba diver, I think, is a great way also to shed the various other distractions in life and allow you to really kind of focus in almost a Zen state.
The fourth day in, we had a chance to visit Iguana Island. The name speaks for itself. The qualities that make for a great scuba diver and a great solo traveler overlap. Both types of people are adventurous, independent, but also very sociable.
I wanted to do something where I would dive. I knew I was traveling solo, so I also wanted to do something where I was going to meet people and sort of have a group to hang out with. And so the liveaboard seemed like a perfect opportunity to do that.
And I really like the idea of, as a solo traveler, of living in sort of dorm accommodations, because it means that you have a lot of interpersonal interaction. In other scuba trips I've made over this time of year, I've gone to like a dive resort, and you know, you do get a certain amount of camaraderie from being on the boat, but then as soon as you hit land in the afternoon, everybody goes in their separate direction, and frankly, it's a little lonely.
So I think it's a really good experience for a solo traveler, and also because diving's a buddy sport, and so you can't really do it by yourself. And so I really wanted to dive, and I wanted to make sure that I was going to be diving with some good people, and so this seemed like the perfect thing to do. And also with divers, you know, divers are also very adventurous and curious and really smart and really interested in the world around them. And those are all kinds of people that I want to be around.
Everyone's social, everyone's pretty much, you know, open-minded, they're adventurous. We've all got that same goal, to be able to go and dive and swap stories, and everyone's interested in knowing where you've been, what you've done. You know, we spend the evenings looking on people's cameras and GoPros, looking at the footage people have done for the day. So there's that inquisitive mind of wanting to know what the other person has experienced on the ship, and that all adds to your own, you know, experience, you know, and what you've seen. And people have got different skills in their diving levels, and you can learn, pick up from things, you know, to make yourself a better, you know, safer diver.
Right in the middle of our trip, we had our shark dive.
Having grown up in the generation where Jaws was, you know, out and first viewed in the movie theater, there's a sense of danger and thrill associated with seeing, you know, potentially dangerous ocean life as well, which you know, gets the heart racing and keeps your interest.
While solo travelers travel for different reasons, they all experience some personal growth.
Yeah, I think you grow a lot as a solo traveler. It really tests your confidence, it tests your limits. You know, if you're somebody that shies away from doing things and you're by yourself, you could easily just like stay close to home, hang out in your hotel, not get out there, you know. And so I think that in order to have a good time as a solo traveler, you kind of do have to push your boundaries a little bit. And that's nice, you know, and it also forces you to meet new people, and you usually come back from a solo trip with a lot more friends than you started with.
Well, I think in some ways it brings out the best in people, right? I mean, you learn to, or exercise the skills of being tolerant of other people. You, in many ways, present your best self because you're in close quarters, you need to get along and so forth. And it's an opportunity to meet people and form new friendships, which isn't the easiest thing to do later in life. So I think it's actually a real benefit of this particular program.
I think it rounds you out, because if you're traveling solo, then you almost get forced to talk to other people, because you can't talk to your buddy or whoever and spend all your time with them and ignore everybody else. So you wind up meeting more people and learning more about them. And it's particularly on this boat, it's very interesting because everybody comes from different walks of life, different skills, different skill sets, and even the amount of dives they've had, I mean, they vary too.
You definitely get to know some really cool people. You get a chance to meet, you know, and kind of bond with people that otherwise you never would.
After a week of scuba diving, I'm exhausted. See you next time. But please make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and share this video with all of your friends.